The 50-yard wedge shot is a shot that fills most amateurs with fear. You see a whole load of bad results whenever they get into those positions, but it's a crucial shot that we need to be able to play. Maybe we're going for a par 5 and 2, we don't quite get there, we're laying up on a short par 4, whatever it might be, we need to be able to play this shot successfully. And believe it or not, it's not that difficult of a shot as long as you understand the keys. So today I'm going to run you through those keys. So the 50-yard shot is a shot that can definitely build momentum in a round. It can help you shoot lower scores, get you out of trouble, but it can also ruin momentum. It can help you shoot higher scores. It can ruin your scorecard. Now, I see a lot of people get this wrong starting from the address position. So I want to tackle a couple of the issues that I see. So firstly, what do I see wrong at the address position? I see players stand too wide. I see players get the ball too far back and the hands too far forwards. Now, some of the results of this is you'll see a lot of fat shots, a lot of thin shots, top shots, but also when they do maybe strike it, they'll strike it way too high in the face. Reason being is when you put the ball back and suddenly de-loft the club lows, this is going to cause you to get steeper, but the de-lofting of the club is going to cause also the ball to contact way higher in the face. Now, what does this do in terms of ball flight? This produces a very high ball flight with not a lot of spin, so it's the opposite of what we're trying to achieve. So, if that's what we're not looking to achieve, what are we looking to achieve in terms of setup? Well, the first thing I want you to do is just narrow up your stance a bit. This gives us a little bit more control over your weight transfer. It also helps us with our ball position. So as a rough guide, let's say 2 club head widths in terms of the heels right there. Just 2 club head widths for our stance width from the heels. Now, the second thing I want you to do is then flare out your front foot. I'm a big believer in flaring out your front foot. It helps you with just that little bit of weight shift, but it also helps you in terms of turning through the shot. The third thing, again, to do with the feet, is just favor a little bit more weight on that left side. And again, we want to keep it there mainly the whole time. This swing, most people can hit it 50 yards with a wedge pretty comfortably. We don't need a huge amount of speed. In fact, we're just trying to control the speed in this shot. So those are the first 3 changes that we're going to make in terms of the feet. Number 1, we're narrowing up the stance roughly 2 club head widths apart. Number 2, flare out the front foot. Number 3, put a little bit more weight on there. If I was to put a number on it, let's say 70 to 80%, and let's feel like we keep it there the majority of the time. Now, let's now talk about ball position and shaft lean. Firstly, I'm more of a believer of using the upper body as a reference guide. So if I was to set up to a 50-yard shot, I would want it anywhere underneath my sternum to my left eye, my lead eye. This is going to put us in a position to where we can get a nice shallow angle of attack, but we can still get that ball then ground contact. We don't want to be seeing the ball go too far back now, because now it's going to compromise our angles, it's going to compromise our angle of attack, and ultimately we're going to have to make compensations. So ball under the sternum and ball under the left eye, sort of use that whichever one you like to use as your reference guide. Now, the key one, shaft lean. I see so many people obviously de-loft it crazy amounts. I also see people not have any shaft lean. So let's again give you a rough guide. I like to see roughly the butt end of the grip just slightly past the ball right there. That gives us a little bit of shaft lean, and then from there it's going to be a little bit easier to control. So that's the setup right there. If I run through it one more time, narrower stance, flare the front foot, a little bit of weight forwards, then ball under the left eye to sternum, and a little bit of shaft lean. So that's now put us in a position to where we have increased our chances of being successful with this shot. By using these keys, you are going to find the setup becomes a lot more consistent, and your strike is going to become a lot more consistent. So now let's run into 2 different thoughts that we can use to help us be successful with this shot. So a great swing thought to have when you're hitting these shots is to collect the ball, not hit at the ball. Now, the reason why this is such a good swing thought is because I see so many golfers, they get very tense in this situation. They try and hit at the ball. Ultimately, it produces a lot of inconsistencies in strike. And then from there, the outcome is not very good either. Now, if you watch the best players in the world, they make this shot look so effortlessly. And part of it is they have great setup fundamentals, but part of it is that they're just able to stay super relaxed. They've got great tempo. They can collect the golf ball. So the golf ball just gets in the way of the golf club. Now, how can we train this? Well, I like players to do a count in their head, so sort of like metronome. If I was to set up to just inside the golf ball here, and I sort of say 1, 2. So I take it back on 1, I hit it on 2, and it just keeps me in that beautiful rhythm. 1, 2. And you can see I'm just trying to produce the same rhythmical swing every single time. Now, once I've done that a couple times, I'm going to step into the ball. Again, as I hit this shot, I'm still going to say 1, 2, and I'm just going to feel like I get into a good follow-through position, and ultimately from there, the ball's just gotten in the way of the club head. So let me give that a go for you right now. If I do a couple practice swings, I go 1, 2. Again, I'm just trying to focus on that good rhythm. 1, 2. I'm going to do everything we did in the setup fundamentals. Now from there, it's just collecting the ball, nice rhythm. And if I go 1, 2. And that was a great strike, nice and low on the face, came out very low with a lot of spin, and that is going to put me in a very successful position when I'm hitting this shot. So the final thing that we're going to talk about is being able to keep your chest moving throughout the motion. I see so many amateurs, when they get into this shot, they stop turning their chest and their arms buckle. Essentially what this is doing is this is adding a lot of loft, it's making it extremely difficult to be consistent. And from there, it's going to be extremely hard to control your distance. Remember, this is only a 50-yard shot. We need to keep everything together. So what we want to be feeling is as we go through, the chest, the hips, everything can turn and point towards the target. Now, a great drill that's going to help you is the towel drill. So what you're going to do is pop these underneath your armpits, just like so. If you were to stop turning, you would see the arms would collapse and the towel would fall out. So this is going to give you direct feedback straight away. You want to pop this underneath, and then from there, just do a couple of swings where you feel like everything stays connected together. This is going to help you get your arms connected to your chest and allow your big muscles to control the motion, which is going to make you far more consistent. Let me give that a go for you right here. So again, got the good setup we've spoken about. I'm going to have that good rhythm, and I'm going to keep the chest turning the whole time. So as you can see, the towel stayed under that the whole time, pretty much through the 50 yards, and that is going to put me in a great position to where I can be more consistent with this shot. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you back here soon.